Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and it's time to review Fair Play. This is the debut film of Chloe Domont. It stars Phoebe Dynevor and Alden Ehrenreich as a couple who both work in finance in the same office who have to pretend they're not dating.
And then one of them gets a promotion. What ensues is an exploration of expectations that people attach to gender and the way that they can unravel people. This film was really entertaining. It was super slick throughout. The pacing was super engaging. The cinematography was like really well polished and dynamic and, you know, high contrast. And the script was really sharp and brought to life this cutthroat finance world.
It also felt really well researched, the way that the characters are talking in depth about stocks and stuff that I don't understand. I just assumed that the research was done for me, but I've liked feeling immersed in all the jargon.
I felt like it could be a good companion piece to other Wall Street films. It definitely takes a dive into that culture and that part of American society.
Digs a little bit at finance bros too.
Yeah, I was really into the way that this story was unfolding, and it's easy to be caught up in the grip like in the first 5 minutes, but it really never lets you go. It just escalates and escalates until the very end, and it gets to such a high point of escalation that I actually kind of have a contention with it.
Having attended Sundance for a few years now, there are usually a few films every year that are like a constantly escalating thriller that has subtle power dynamics and psychological warfare at play. And this movie did that really well because it just takes these little baby steps and it never feels like it ever stagnates or repeats itself or makes the same point again. Like, it's always building in small ways, and then you're 45 minutes into the movie and you're like, wow, it feels like we're so far removed from who we saw at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And that's what I really liked about it. And I almost found it at some parts disturbing how far this couple had come from where they were in the beginning and how quickly that happened. I think the movie does push it as far as it can possibly go. And I kind of agree with you. Maybe there was a point where I thought this point that we reached feels the most realistic and heightened, and then it just gets even more, and it's like, I don't know how I feel about all of that, but it definitely still had my attention.
Yeah, I think my problem specifically with when a film goes that far is that I enjoy relating to the characters and understanding their process and what's going on in their minds. And even if they're someone who's unsavory, I want to be able to relate with them. And there was a certain point when one of the characters just kind of got completely lost on me, and it became too easy for my tastes to just write them off as having a mental disorder. And when it's so easy to explain a character's choices by okay, maybe that's just insanity, I think you lose a little bit of character in there.
I don't agree that anybody was ever at a point where their actions didn't still feel like they were stemming from, that psychological warfare.
Yeah, I think people might feel differently about that. For me, it was I don't know if this makes sense to have all sprung out of this conflict. The film has two really great lead performances, definitely some of the best that I will see at Sundance, I'm sure. Phoebe Dynevor was magnificent in this, and it felt like she could do anything. You almost felt like you could put her in any role, and she would be able to navigate it because she just has this range, and she can turn on any expression and convey any emotion at any given moment. I mean, she really carried this film, in my opinion. Definitely one of the best performances that I've seen at this festival.
And Alden Ehrenreich, he has been kind of missing for a while after Solo. People weren't really into him in that role, and he was supposed to be the it boy after the Coen brothers.
I think
were you lead our movie. But it's great to see him have a role like this that proves that he is great, and there's a reason that
he was this discovery in the first place.
He conveys the full range of male jealousy and insecurity from petty small ways to just outright eruptions.
I think this film would play really well on a streaming platform because I think anybody could watch it and be quickly enveloped.
Yeah, it's a little bit fun and juicy in a way.
Definitely.
Even though it is, you do take it very seriously and everything. And it's also unpredictable.
I'd also give a shout out to the score. It was very techno-y and pulse-pounding.
The sound design was also very good. It did a great job escalating with the movie.
This one's really solid.
Great directorial debut. There's a lot of them this year.
I would give this a 7 out of 10. It seemed like it was going for a little higher, but I kind of fell off of the roller coaster by the end.
I give this an 8 out of 10, and it's an easy recommendation for anybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
Would you like to work on Wall Street?